Here's a lesson that Jesus is going to teach you through a physical miracle. Now, if you guys don't know how the Bible is written, the Bible is written to use physical miracles, physical acts to point to spiritual truths. Remember, every miracle Jesus does is to point to a greater spiritual truth. You listening, young man?
Yeah.
All right, now watch. Look at this miracle of walking on water. Immediately, he had the Talmidim, meaning the disciples, get in the boat and go on ahead of him. Now remember, these are trained fishermen. They know the weather better than the average person. They know when they're in danger. When they see the waves are strong, they know, uh-oh, we're in trouble. After he had sent the crowds away, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. Notice, learn from Jesus, who sets an example for us. Jesus spent time alone in prayer. Learn from our Lord. May I practice what I preach. The Lord took time away from the disciples, away from the crowds. I need some alone time between my Father and I. If the Son of God would spend time alone in isolation to focus on communion with the Father and the Spirit, how much more do we maggots need to do that?
Yeah.
Now watch. Night came on and he was there alone. But by this time, the boat was several miles from shore, battling a rough sea and headwind. Now, they're fishermen. They know we're in trouble. Boys, we're in trouble. We ain't going to make it. It's going to capsize. Now watch. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, he came toward them walking on the lake. Now, why I'm laughing, they're already freaking out. And by the way, if you want to make the most out of the Bible, let me tell you how to study it. Visualize it. When you read a passage, play the scene out in your mind. It's like watching the movie Chosen. But instead of watching the movie Chosen, have a theater in your mind and play it out as a movie. Imagine, visualize it. So I visualize the reaction. That's why I laugh, because I'm putting myself there. I'm already freaking out. Why am I freaking out? Because the boat's about to capsize. Peter, what did you do? Of all the days, today you chose to get on the boat? They're freaking out. Then, to really freak out, as if they're not already freaking out, watch here. They see a figure walking on water. They don't recognize it, Jesus. So now watch here. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, he came where they're walking on the lake. Buddy, if I'm in the boat, 4 in the morning, and it's pitch black, and I see a figure walking on water, I'm going to be screaming, high hell, shouting from the depth of my lungs, from fear and terror. And that's what happened. Look, they were terrified. It's a ghost. And they said and screamed with fear. Grown men screaming like little girls. Ah! Ah! They're screaming, right? They don't know what's going on. Now, what here? How does this apply to us? But at once, Yeshua spoke to them. Courage, he said. It is I. Literally, it says I am. The Greek is literally I am. Stop being afraid. Literally, it's ego eimi, one of the names of God in Isaiah. You know what he's saying to you and me right now?
To not fear.
You better believe it.
Why are you letting him with all your heart, soul, and strength?
He's saying, why are you letting your thoughts drown you? Courage. I am. Stop being afraid. But here's the lesson for us. Here's the lesson. Why this moves me in my spirit. Then Kepha, Peter, called to him, Lord, if it is really you, tell me to come to you on the water. You have power over the elements. You have power over wind and wave, and you have power over our bodies. You can make our bodies do things we can't do in the natural. Come, he said. So Kepha got out of the boat and walked on the water toward Yeshua. Now here's the lesson for you. Guys, here's the lesson. God is doing a miracle, a physical miracle, to teach a spiritual lesson. Okay? And this is found in Isaiah 43, this imagery of waters and turbulent waters and fire and going through them unharmed because God is with you. Okay, watch. Notice when Peter starts drowning, he took his eyes off of Jesus. But when he saw the wind, notice, he's no longer seeing Jesus. He allowed the storms of his life cause him to lose focus on Jesus. The moment he took his eyes, his gaze off of Jesus and focused on the wind, the turbulence, he became afraid and he started sinking.
That's what
His
happened to me.
started sinking.
That's what happens to me. I take my eyes off the Lord and I fall.
But notice how merciful your Lord is. What did I say? When you have intrusive thoughts, Jesus, I trust in you. He yelled, Lord, save me. Yeshua immediately stretched out his hand, took hold of him. And this is his message to you and I. I said to him, such little trust, O you of little faith, why do you doubt? As they went up into the boat, the wind ceased. So God, Jesus will calm the winds and storms of your life if you stop doubting, trusting him, and stop focusing on your problems and focus on him, the problem solver. The men in the boat fell down before him and exclaimed, you really are God's son, aren't you? See, this is a message. That's why it moves me. Because the Lord is telling Peter, why did you take your eyes off me, Peter? What's greater? The winds, the waves, the turbulence, the storms of your life? Or I am greater? Focus on me, and there is no power that can ever destroy you and make you sink, because I am, and I have power over all creation. And if you focus on me, I will empower and preserve you forever and ever. But you have to focus on me.
Yeah, I need to stop focusing on myself and focus on Christ. Keep my eyes on Christ.
That's your solution, right, brother?
Yeah.
So take it and stop focusing and train yourself. What's the training? Like when Peter started doubting, his faith started sinking. Lord, save me. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you.